Welcome to WKIT-DG Radio on the Pyramid One World Radio Network. We are your source for the latest news, music, and entertainment from around the world. Our programming is designed to keep you informed and entertained with a variety of content that will keep you engaged. Tune in to hear interviews with your favorite artists, exclusive live performances, and more. So sit back and relax as WKIT-DG Radio brings you the best in global radio entertainment.
Welcome to Pyramid One World Radio. Through the enigmatic depths of the cosmos, where celestial bodies dance in an ethereal symphony, lies a profound connection between mankind and the vast universe. This profound interplay is illuminated through the enigmatic arts of psychic and tarot readings, which offer a tantalizing glimpse into the intricate tapestry of the stars, energy, and the boundless expanse that is our universe. Within the intricate fabric of existence, the perplexing nature of the stars beckons humanity to embark on a wondrous journey of self-discovery. Gazing upon the night sky, one cannot help but be captivated by the enigmatic allure of these celestial beings. Their twinkling radiance, like a celestial riddle, whispers secrets untold, enticing seekers of truth to delve deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos. In the realm of psychic and tarot readings, an esoteric language is unveiled, allowing mortals to decipher the intricate patterns woven by cosmic forces. These divinatory arts, steeped in ancient wisdom, unlock hidden doors to the universe's enigma, offering glimpses into the past, present, and even the potential pathways of our future. Through the delicate shuffle of tarot cards and the intuitive prowess of gifted psychics, the veil between the tangible and the intangible is lifted, revealing profound insights into the uncharted realms of existence. Bob Charles, a profoundly enigmatic individual hailing from the mystifying realm of Pyramid One Radio, graciously implores your esteemed self to embark upon a telephonic journey. Captivatingly, the path to this auditory adventure lies within the sacred digits 60966300153. When you call in, you will have the ability to listen to the show while we're taking calls. Just mute your phone till we call your telephone number. But wait, you can text your questions too. Text to 863-22224199 or go to Google and look up PYRAMIDONIR, a DIO. Look for the post that has WIX on it, then click Go to the Chat Room, and Bob Charles is watching. Life is good, knowing your path is better. Please put your hands together for our host of A View of Humanity, Jamie and Maggie Clark.
Does that bring back memories for you?
Ooh.
Screaming crowds?
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet.
It's funny, man. Where'd you pick that up? Somebody was just saying that yesterday, exactly the same thing, and they were saying the exact same thing, and I said, didn't you miss all those things that in the crowd and the jumping around and everything else? I said, you gotta look at it this way. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it for a while. That's absolutely true. But to miss it, I think it's a building block of your mind, what you do, yourself, your person, everything else. I mean, these are all steps. Like everybody says, "Oh, gee, I wish I did that." Well, it's because when you were going your path, you missed it. You know what I mean? I've always tried to find everything. Like I have the other picture that I sent somebody that the other day. They said, "Oh, what kind of plane did you have?" And I said, "Well, I'll show you a picture." And I sent him a picture of me with my boss that said he would never, ever in a billion years ever get in a plane with me. That's exactly what he said. And the funny thing about it was, where the airport was, my mother and my sister worked in a building right across, right in line with runway 22. So when I used to go off that runway, I would always just look at the side of the building and that where their offices were, to see if I could see them, when I went. The time that I had my boss in the plane, my mother and my sister were looking because I had, told them, I said, I'm going over to pick up my boss and he's going to come up with me. And my mother said, no way. I said, oh, yeah, way. So we came off the runway and they were on like the 5th floor of this building. And when I went by the building, when I came off the runway, I took the plane. I went like this with the plane. So my mother said, when I got home and she almost killed me. She goes, what the hell are you doing, for crying out loud? Are you out of your mind doing that with an airplane? I said, it was waving.
True.
I mean, even the guy that trained me, he said, look, he says, I don't want to, but please, he says, I don't want to go to your funeral.
That takes a lot of guts to be a pilot in that way, man.
But, I tell you something, it just drives me a little crazy that I see all these planes, small, down here in Florida, man, we got them falling out of the sky sometimes. And it's like, I did everything with an airplane. I mean, I turned off the motor and glided for I don't know how long. I mean, I almost landed on a golf course one time as a practice. It almost killed a bunch of people.
Or
that's a story I'm telling you nobody would ever believe. But I mean, we did all these things. The guy that actually trained me was a jet fighter pilot in Vietnam.
Awesome.
And that's what he did. And I mean, we're talking real jets. We're not talking Cessnas or Cherokees or anything like that. And when he taught me, he said to me, he said, look, all I want you to do is follow me. If it doesn't feel good, tell me. But I never told him once that something was no good, because I'm the kind of person that it's, just like in life, try it. Don't say you can't do it. Try it. If you can't go all the way through it, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? It comes to me anyway. It starts walking out the house in the morning. So many people. I mean, I have people that I meet sometimes during the day, and I'll turn around, I'll say hi to them. And then I have the other ones that I say good morning to, and they won't even look at you. And you can see where, who's what right away. I mean, I can do it in an hour. And when I'm out of the house, when I meet people, and I do the little pizza. How do you think we keep all this stuff running? I mean, I deliver pizza and I keep the station running, and the other two too.
Excellent.
But the other thing was, you meet all these people in the morning. Like, for instance, I'll give you a good one. On pizza, and I won't say the name because I'm not advertising for anybody, but on the thing it says no contact. Now that came from the COVID era, so it just carried over. And when you order a pizza, you can push the little thing on the little check in the box, and that no contact. So you don't want anyone to contact you. I go to this house. And I'm looking down, and so people that want no contact, they usually put out like a little table or a chair or something like that. You put the pizza there, you ring the bell and take off. Okay, and that's very rare. But at this house, they wanted the big thing, no contact, no contact, and I'm saying, so okay, I get up to the place. Nice house too. One of these. I mean, we have $2, $3, $4 million houses right across the street from where I am.
Nice.
And, I go to the thing and I'm looking down and around where the mat is, I see ants. Now I've got these 2 beautiful pizzas and ants. So what do you pick? Feed the ants or feed the people in the house? You're supposed to put it on the mat, right? No. So I stood there and I rang the doorbell. Nobody came. Rang the doorbell. Nobody came. Knocked on the door. Nobody came. Then I did the police knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. All right, lady comes to the door. She said, but I put no contact on the thing. I said, look, ma'am. I says, come here a minute. See that? Those are ants at your house. They wanted the pizza. Do you want it or do they want it? And the lady was like, huh?
Yeah.
She took the pizza. But it was like this is life. You know what I mean? People get psychic readings, and that it's the same thing. You're mapping, you're pathing, you're showing somebody this is who they are. This is what they are, what is available to them. You're not going to say you're going to do this. Yes, I could. If you turned around to me and say you're going to work tomorrow, I could be doing anything. I could be doing the gardening. I could be washing the car. I could be flying a plane. I could be delivering a pizza. It's all under one word: work.
Mhm.
So it's your path where you're going. It's not a specific thing. Now with tarot, on the other hand, that kind of points fingers. I mean,
It just reads an energetic signature.
But see, that's the dynamic. Different ways of reading energy.
no, you got 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean, and that's just the way it is. It's the same thing, yes, but not. And that's why I tell people all the time: call in on the phone, for crying out loud. If you want to find out what you're doing, where you're going, who you're going to meet, if you're going to meet, how long you're going to be around. I mean, people are not. You can't specify when somebody's going to die, but you can say to somebody, "Look, this is what you don't want to do, because this is in your field." Go ahead. Spit it out. Go ahead.
There are times when somebody comes to me and asks about a loved one and their health dynamics. And I can only speak for myself, that's it. But I'll pick up a vibrational pattern of information that will usually indicate the time of them graduating life. And so depending on the circumstance, I've had people ask me going, should I go see them or what? And I'm like, please, in this case, go see them as quickly as you can. That would be a beautiful dynamic. And in this particular case, the person made it in one day, and then the loved one graduated life shortly after that. So basically, it was good that the information was there. There is no guarantee. There is no destiny to me, because people perceive, I'm destined for, and I'm like, that's a beautiful intent. But if you really think that you're destined for anything, tell me you can't take your life now or now or now. Where'd that destiny go? Now becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And basically, when people can have some insight, all we do is a psychic medium, and everyone is, but I'm on that quantum road sign of potential. There's all of these different realities that are happening now. All different outcomes are happening now on the quantum level. All I do is go, okay, if you stay in that same thought pattern, here's most likely what you're going to bring to the surface of consciousness and live, and usually be pretty accurate with that dynamic. And in that, when I can be effective, I always love to share the fact of how I do what I do, because I want to take the scary, freaky deaky stuff out of it to go, man, these abilities are so natural, they're supernatural. Everyone can do it. Do you want to? And what level do you want to take it to? And in that, I think that, like I do, there are a lot of organizations and other agencies that use our abilities. They're not that stupid. Depending on who we have to target and what are we looking for.
So everybody has the information there. It just needs to be read.
Yes. Are they going to read it? Because most people don't.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's, it's whatever works for you. But that's why they come to us is, one, for the psychic medium, I want to make sure, they're coming to me, that I'm not just making crap up. I'm like, well, good, perfect. Thank you for questioning that. And here's what I get. And a lot of times it'll be the very dynamic of what they were dealing with. And they'll be like, how did you know that? And I just share the fact and, on the quantum level and all that kind of stuff. So energy wise, I'm getting into the fact of there are so many different ways, so many different tools and modalities to use to read energy, because not only is it tarot and pendulum swinging and a variety of other things, but I will say that there are times where our loved ones on the other side, as we perceive it, because to me there is no death, but on the other side will give psychic information before it happens. And the person that I'm reading for sometimes like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And then it happens. I'm like, well, didn't we say that? And didn't your loved one give you the information? And when they can realize that our loved ones do have an awareness of the potential direction of life experience that we're going in. It's not like they're sitting here doing this. Are you done brushing your teeth? Everything better to do, man. They're having fun. But as soon as you think of them, you're tapping them on the shoulder energy wise, and they'll come right in. And the cool thing is I love that when, if they give me the information, I'll give it to them about the psychic aspect. But it's cool because when that's said and it hasn't happened yet, because it's psychic, right? Saying before it happens, that gives that person an even stronger connection with their loved one on the other side to go, how the frick would they know that? They're gone. I'm like, really? Are they? You sure? Because, I always say the fact for me that I never, ever talk to the dead. There are none. To me, as we perceive death is you die in this dimension and then you go to the other side after this. And as I always share, one, to me, everything's spiritual. Two, life is relative because we as humans are extraterrestrials to everyone else. And I always say, aren't we right now living on the other side of where we come from before here? Isn't that when we must have died? Or could it just be a shift in consciousness and vibrational patterns of energy?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Yeah, but all the time, like I talk to people about this stuff all the time anyway. But it's you got Casey is one guy, you got Nostradamus,
Oh, yeah.
another guy. I mean, these people saw how many years ahead? Ooh,
Right. And you're only a nut job till it's validated.
exactly. And the funny thing about it was people who were only actually believing or following or learning about these people today. What pulled the ripcord on these people? You know what I mean?
Do
It's
they
like,
ever have insight as to what triggered them to do that?
I don't know. I was like, a person I talked to maybe more than a year ago, and that we were talking about Nostradamus because one of the original books that was written by whoever wrote it, it had a leather bound on it. I mean, we're talking an old book. My grandmother gave it to me, and it was the original book of Nostradamus.
Wow.
It was in the old language. I mean, you really had to you had to scratch your head a lot to get through some of the sentences that were there because the guy was a Frenchman. So hey, but all this stuff that I read a long time ago is coming true today. Everything that he said, everything that I said, nah, it can't be. Yeah,
Yeah, huh?
Twin Towers was one of them.
And that's when it gets real to go, there's no freaking way you
Yeah.
could have known that. I know, except we know it. And in that, and as a future, as we perceive it, what if they're just tapping into the moment to go, oh, is that the time frame 300 years in advance? Okay, there you go. It's the same energy, just a different way of playing out. And in that, kind of like Nostradamus, just like this, like, yeah, sure. And then it happens. And you're like, oh, what the heck? Because I always say that there's, to me, a lot of responsibility goes as what we do as a psychic. Because the more accurate you are, the more responsibility goes with it. And I share the fact that to me, there are some new people that come to me and I'll give them a potential psychic upcoming event and they'll be like, yeah, right, sure. I'm like, no, I could certainly be wrong, but I guess we'll see. They usually end up calling back going, what else you got to say? Because I thought you were full of crap and it all happened. Now I always say for me, anything and that person, anything coming out my mouth to that person is the gospel because they thought all that other stuff was a bunch of crap and then it happened. Now they're like, how did you do that? And I'll share the fact at quantum level and all that kind of stuff. So when we can dissipate the fear, because what we don't understand, we tend to fear. And usually what we tend to fear, we want to crucify. So it's that connection to make it palpable, to make it understandable, and to make it natural. Because, and like I always say, this is so natural, it's supernatural. Everyone has the ability. What level do they want to take it to? And when they can realize that they've got insight, that it's not just nothing and I can't do anything, it's tap in. You're worth the time and energy.
And they also have to remember something that you and I have talked about for years. Energy doesn't die.
Yes.
So therefore, I mean, really, I mean, when I go, I may come back as a girl. Hi, how you doing?
You got your balance, baby.
I mean, I'm serious. You can come back to anything you want to. I mean, the body is one thing, but the energy is something else. And
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
that's another dynamic. That's why I love that
Yeah.
quantum physics stuff, because
Yeah.
I share the fact, right? I'm not a doctor or scientist, but I believe that they've found that humans are basically energy, vibrational light beings. And with that definition of being energy in quantum physics, they found that energy can either be created nor destroyed. But then I say, but wait a minute. If that means in a very scientific methodology that we are eternal and we have always been, and yet they perceive this universe has only been here 14.8 billion years, we may not be from this universe. I'll guarantee you we're not originally from this universe.
And the other, all right. Hey, things are being found out every day. Okay. Did you see the thing about the moon? Oh, they were doing all this like really, really cool work, and then they're doing moon rocks and all this kind of stuff. And they found out that, hey, it's 40 million years older than we thought it was. Oh, small mistake. 40 million years. So if that's the case, what are we? Oh,
Yeah, huh?
here or were we not here? Oh, where was the moon? Was the moon really there? Is the moon really a moon?
No,
I mean, I'm serious. I mean,
there's technology.
questions come out, and only through like shows like this do people get a chance to really express themselves through their own energy and their own aura in a sense, around them.
And there is that theory that the moon is more like a space station, that it was, just added there to rotate around the Earth. We never see the dark side of the moon. That's like weird in and of itself. And then also, I was talking with someone and they're like, well, think about the ocean tides and menstrual cycles for women that are influenced by the moon. Like, could you imagine if you didn't actually have to bleed as a woman, like because the moon is causing that influence, causing those tides to fluctuate within you? And I was like, that's so fascinating. I mean, I don't know if this can ever be proven, but there is a theory that women never really had to go through a menstrual cycle, to have children. They didn't, like, what's the point of it, right? What is the point? So it's very interesting when you think about all of those little interesting factors of what the moon actually does and how it affects us, and what would it be like if it wasn't there?
Well, we're over 90% water?
Our body's probably
75.
about 70%, and the brain is almost 80%. Yeah.
80%, right. So, all right. So you take that much water and you do the same thing as like the menstruals or whatever, and you wonder why some people are in a bad mood.
Yeah. Why did they call them lunatics? Because it was influenced by the moon.
They're moonatics.
They're lunatics. Luna is a word for the moon.
I have somebody on the phone that, yeah, exactly. And she's talking her head off. I can hear her and it's off.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'm getting psychic. I don't know. I'm out of here.
You are. That's the point.
Okay, area code 408. Who's on the line?
Hello? Me.
Hi, me.
It's Helena from DC.
Hey, Helena.
All right, we got Jamie and we got Maggie here. So go ahead, give it to them.
Okay, Jamie and Maggie, I have been laid up for the last 3 months with this bloody leg. I fell and hurt the knee and the shin splints and all of that. And I'm just wondering, do you see an end of this where I'll be normal again and I can walk? And
I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose. But I would have to say, Helena, yes, I do feel it's not going to be immediate, but I do feel like you've got a very, very, very strong ability and potential to kind of bring things back into normalcy as we perceive it. So if you're okay.
And the other question I wrote a book 10 years ago. It got buried by Amazon and Trafford and Friesen Press and all of those. And I want to rewrite it so that it takes into effect the current stuff, what's going on.
Do it.
Maybe make a difference with what's happening in New York right now, because we have so many good Jewish people that live there that are being, they're just being, it's cruel what's happening over in the Middle East. And I'm thinking, okay, if I write my book again, I can maybe make some peace happen in New York.
So do it.
So between the Palestinians and the Israelis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's Nazi satanic Khazarians that were wanting to do this. They want both the Palestinians and the real Jews there to kill each other so they can have all that property for themselves. And I think these facts really need to be brought out, that it's not the ordinary Palestinian or the ordinary Israeli Jewish person. It's a small segment of people that are running both those governments, and it has to stop. And and to bring some peace after it finally stops to that whole area.
Do it.
What I mean, like, so should I try again with my book?
Yes, ma'am.
This time bring out these aspects.
Yes. What if it's time to update it? Yes. Yes. And I think, like I do, there are times where people want to be able to take that adventure, to have that experience from you without having to go through it, but they can learn from it. That kind of a connection. And, like I do, it takes a lot of guts to be able to put that information out there. Not everyone is open for that to be shared. But I feel like the timing of it with whatever information that you're wanting to share is a productive connection. Like, it is time to update this. Give people a different way of seeing things, because on average they're presented one way. And when it's presented that way, people are like, well, they said it's that way. It's going to be, that must be. I'm like, well, it doesn't always equate to it has to be that way. It's sometimes they'll say one thing and mean another. So if you're good with it.
This book, hoping that somebody that's listening will know how to get hold of the people that did the movie, The Sound of Freedom, because this book could be made into a movie that would highlight the whole crap that's going on and bring peace to both Israel and Palestine, and especially in New York, because you've got both those groups living there and they need to come together in peace.
Good. Can you act on this on your own? Can you maybe make phone calls to the companies, to the production companies, or whatever you're looking for?
My telephone number on my cell is 250.
No. Yes, thank you.
Not on here. This is Jeannie, right?
Sorry.
This is Jeannie.
Sorry, I don't want to do anything wrong here.
No.
You want to keep your privacy.
Hold on a minute, Jeannie. This is you, right, in Canada?
Yeah.
That's why I stopped you with the telephone number. I mean, first of all, you don't want anybody to, like, this goes public. This is all over the place tomorrow.
Okay.
So you don't want everybody to have your telephone number. But, however, if you go on the name of the movie that you were talking about, the producers are there. If you look them up, you can get the production company that actually did the movie or produced it, and those people will get you in touch with the right people. Have someone direct you instead of you trying to find them. It's easier referred.
And most likely they will ask you to write the book first before pitching it, because if it's not a complete work, then they probably will say, well, write it first. And sometimes it has to be written as a screenplay before they'll consider it. So there's some options there. But you could reach out and say, I have this and I'm updating it and I'm doing this, but they'll definitely want a final copy before moving forward, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm about 80% there. So it has been published. I have the ISBN number. I tried valiantly, believe me, 10 years ago to get it out there. And so I'm hoping now with the revision and getting the new insights into what's happening in New York, that it can be done quickly enough that it could bring peace to that area.
Excellent. Excellent. So what I would love for you to do before you're even doing this, sit down a minute or more. It's already in the hands of the people. Feel the empowerment of choice and the new patterns of choices that they're making with love, empowerment, compassion, any of those dynamics being in it. For me, I create as I call it, a future memory. I accept something that's there before it's there. because otherwise, as a human, we'll tend to live in a reactive state of experience. And here's what we'll do. If I have this job, then I feel successful. If I have this amount of money, then I feel wealthy. And we'll wait for the outside physical manifestation of the job, the money to happen to feel successful and wealthy. What if we'll start feeling that way, vibing that way before it's anywhere in sight? We're now setting vibrations of co-creation, not manipulation, that will bring you more of the people, circumstances, and experiences. Because for most of my life, I would hear people talking about writing books, and I see it on the shelves, on the bookshelves, and it stays on the bookshelves, and they don't even realize what they're doing. I said, just for me, if you see it on the bookshelves, how about if you take it and see it in their hands? See them and feel them reading it. Feel the connection to that information that they want to share more through the interconnectedness of all of us, because it's all one. And I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on in New York. I didn't know that there was like oddball things happening. Are you able to share what might be happening, or is it the dynamic, the leftover of what's been dealing with in the Middle East?
I think both.
Okay.
I can tell you, I got one for both of you. Did you know about the rats? Right? All these places in there, the more and more and more, for some reason, they're like blue states. Okay? And for some reason, they're being overrun by rats. Now, what is the connection between the blue states and the rats? I have no idea. However, I can tell you the 1 and 2 and 3 of the highest amount of rats. LA is number 1, believe it or not. Not New York. Everybody's yelling New York. No, New York. LA is number 1. Chicago is number 2. And New York is number 3.
Wow.
Oops. So go figure, you know? Something going on around here. It's not all the garbage, you know?
So if you go right ahead.
Jeannie, what?
Well, I thank you for answering my call. I know there's other people that want on, so it does give me courage to see what I can do. And
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
I have found a book printer here that can do it, so I'd be more than happy to send you that you could sell off your broadcast there. I don't know, but if that could happen.
Bob's the man, whatever he's able to do.
Yeah.
Good.
You know what we'll have to do? We'll have to come back and we'll have to talk offline.
Yep. Sounds good.
We can
okay, well, I'm going to get off the line so you can have other people talk. So I thank you for your encouragement, and
you got it.
Really appreciate it.
Good job. And thank you for sharing with humanity. That's beautiful.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Take care. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Hang out and listen, one of the two.
Or both. There you go. You know, I think that's beautiful that she's open to rewriting, to updating this information, because a lot of people are functioning from, you know, what was presented many years ago, which is fine. But if we can update, if we can bridge that connection, then it becomes a little bit more informative, a little bit more empowering, and a little less fearful. Because,
you know, it's really funny. Her book was Escape of New York, or from New York.
Okay.
New York. And right now, everybody is going out of there. They're like, they're out of here.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's not only that, but it's so much more. I mean, the meaning of New York. I mean, how would you call it? Charisma of New York. You know, it's got this feeling. I mean, I worked there for 22 years in Manhattan, right around the block from Macy's. So, I mean, I saw everything from the roof of the building, you know, Thanksgiving, parades and everything.
Wow.
I saw it all. And Madison Square Garden, I could also see from my window. So, I mean, it was that's where I was. For 22 years, I did that. What we felt when we were kids and we were there, and even when I worked there for 22 years, it's not there anymore. The mystery part of New York is not there. The grandeur of New York is not there. It's like somebody threw it out a window or something, or they didn't want to pay money for it, or they didn't want to do this, or they raised money on something. I mean, everything there is going crazy. I mean, bad enough prices in everywhere, the whole country. has gone through the roof. I mean, even, and I can give you this one on the thing. My insurance for 6 months on my car, just out of nowhere went up $300 for 6 months.
Wow.
I called them up and I said, well, how come it went up $300? Well, that's what the economic whatever, 6 months ago it was this and now it's this. Now, at my age, you pay like $500 for 6 months, maybe. Somewhere around here. I paid $800 yesterday.
Wow.
Can you believe that? And I mean, this is what's going on. And now that's maybe here in Florida, but can you imagine what New York is?
Yeah.
It's double what I just told you.
At least.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So what she's talking about in her book is she's getting down to the roots, down to the people level, of what's going on. And I mean, I've talked to her before about her book and that, and it was good. I was excited it was going to come out, but it never hit Amazon, I guess.
Well, nowadays, remember back in the day, you used to have a publishing company and they got to represent you. Now we're able to do it in our own way.
Yeah, you
worldwide.
can do it. Yeah, you can do it yourself any way you want. Well, that was the internet, but they didn't have internet back then.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's nice that the technology is allowing us more independence in this way. We're not having to be dependent on, again, a lot of the publishing companies that if they didn't like you, you're just going to sit there with a book in your hands. That's it. It's like, really? Well, let's take this and go further. So it's kind of nice through the empowerment that people are getting the ability to reach others even more effectively. And in this case, the technology, the web, is bringing the whole world together. It's no longer the old school where you had to call and find out, man. It's now pip, 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 and then you have the GPS and a variety of other things.
How about when you wrote people a letter?
Remember that? Yeah.
I was like,
yep.
Okay, maybe he'll get the letter in 2 weeks, or something like. Now you can do it in a millisecond.
Yeah. Email, pip, there you go.
And send the whole thing, the whole letter, if you want.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So we got somebody else. Who's on area code 250?
Well, I guess it's me again.
On 250.
How many phones you using?
Hang up. I couldn't hang up because your conversation was so amazing.
All right,
and I thought, okay, what do I do?
Say it. Let me see. Let me see if it's another number. Who knows? Who's on 480?
Okay, I'll hang up.
No, don't hang up. Say.
You got all the numbers. I love it.
Yeah. 480. Who's there?
That's okay. Another anonymous.
She's buzzing over there. Come on, one more time. Who's on 480 area code?
Hello?
Hello. I hear you. Okay. Here's Jamie and Maggie. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't believe it.
Yes, you're on. Believe it.
What's your name, love?
Time, and it's like, wow. Well, hi, guys. It's so good to talk with you.
A pleasure, definitely.
Oh,
and how can we be of service? Do you have any questions? Anything that we might be able to assist with?
She's got a couple of questions. Go for it.
Okay. So, wow, which one should I do? Okay, so you said something about health is not a good question, but I guess I have this mercury poisoning detox thing that I've been dealing with forever and ever, and I'm really kind of sick of it now, and I'm not sure what to do. I put myself on a diet, and it's better, I think, but it's really long term.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Mag, do you want to?
So you have decided, you said you're detoxing and it's been a while and you are feeling better. Yeah. Is that my understanding?
Well, so no, I've had this years and years, and my naturopath said it's because I still have the mercury fillings, some of them, and every time I've tried to get them taken out, I've lost the tooth. So I can't keep taking them out and losing teeth.
Or you might have to do that and get a whole new set of teethers to get your health back.
Right. yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Yes, ma'am. I know it's not easy, but if you're able to, like you're doing, then search around and see if there's any other methodology, any other dynamics that you can work to get that taken care of. Otherwise, if they're not able to extract it out without taking them out of your mouth, I'm not sure what you could do about that.
So just keep doing my research and everything.
I would say yes, ma'am. And Mag, do you have any insight?
Well, and there are, there's a lot of like visualization meditations. Are you using things like of that nature to also help with your health at this point?
I'm just starting that because I also had a foot issue, and I've been doing, and I think it's better because I have been doing
Excellent.
Yeah.
and asking my guides for help, and I think it's better now finally.
Absolutely. I'm feeling that as well with, nobody wants to deal with detoxing mercury. Obviously, that's not something we want to be dealing with. But a lot of times we can focus on everything functioning optimally and everything being able to be filtered perfectly, and finding visualizations that help you understand how the liver works and how sometimes the more detailed we are, we can really get into the anatomy and into the functions of the body for detoxing and really support the organs and the systems as they are working through that process. Now, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose, treat, prevent, cure, do anything of that nature. However, the power of visualization is huge. It's absolutely huge. And if it's working already on your foot, then you're a natural. And so I want you to think about adding something like that in, finding not focusing on the problem, not focusing on the discomfort, not focusing on the toxicity, but focusing on just the other pole of that, which is completely feeling healthy, having all the cells perfectly filtering out, and doing their job, and really keeping that in part of your meditations. And if you do those a couple times a day, that can absolutely help. I also refer people to a self-help technique of Jinshin Jitsu. There's a book called The Touch of Healing by Alice Burmeister and Tom Monty. And in that, you can learn how to do a bladder flow, like a left side bladder flow can help detox poisonous metals and toxicity from the body and things that the body accumulates. A liver flow, like there's actual things that you can do for yourself, putting your own hands on your own body to move and open up energetic pathways. So I would look into something like that. And if you have any questions around that, you can please reach out to me. Just contact me. Go to maggieclark.net and reach out to me. I'd be happy to explain what that is. But you can order that book on Amazon. It's a fantastic self-help practice where you are really connecting into your breath of life. You're connecting into the natural pathways and flows of energy in your body, and you're able to harmonize spirit, mind, and body yourself. So those are the things that I recommend for health projects primarily. I have seen the power of visualization shift cancers before, shift big scary labels, and it is really important that we take some of these things in our own hands. When we aren't able to necessarily take out or remove something that's causing the quote unquote project, then we can harmonize it in other ways, harmonize ourselves so that we feel better, we feel more active. And so the more responsibility that you take and more awareness that you have in this project, I think that it can shift some things for you.
And those thoughts can affect the body in that way. I'm into a gentleman named Dr. Masaru Emoto, who was a scientist, and he's graduated life now, past as we perceive it. But he was a scientist, and basically he wanted to see if the molecular structure of water holds thought patterns thought within it. And each and every time he did these studies, he got the same results. And they have pictures if you'd like to check it out. And what he did basically was take two separate containers of water, and he had one group send one container positive, loving, happy thoughts and froze it. The other container, challenging negative bad thoughts, and froze it. Each and every time he took those ice crystals out, sliced them up, and put them in an electron microscope, he saw that the molecular structure of the water that was sent negative and challenging thoughts was gross and murky, and they have pictures. And then the one that was sent love and light is like snowflakes and prisms. I always say, I think there's a few things that are almost 70% water on this planet. That'd be the oceans and the human body, and the brain is almost 80%. Every thought we have ripples through the molecular structure of your body. You think thoughts of disease, it creates disease. You think thoughts of ease, it creates ease. So kind of along the lines, if you would, start doing the best you can to not address the problem, create the solution.
Right. I love that. Yes. Yes.
Cool. You can do it, and you already have a solid validation.
Yeah, I have one more question. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is my relationship with my daughter. She's like 47, and she blames me for everything in her life. She gets upset, and then she tosses me out of her life. She won't communicate with me, and I have two adorable grandkids that I'm very close to. I love them to death, and this has been an ongoing issue. I don't know what to do. I know it's her path. I've got a letter on it, but yeah, I don't know.
And it's not easy to go, yeah, okay, all right, when you have two beautiful grandchildren that you really want to stay connected to as well. But in this, Mag has thrown down some cards, so I'm going to let her speak on what she's picking up.
Okay, sure. I love to talk. All right. So the biggest thing that I'm seeing King of Swords, which is you have your own spiritual wisdom. You understand that she's on her own journey. So you have to work with that wisdom, and you have to walk your talk and speak your truth. So you have to grant her space when she pulls away, because that's her choice, obviously. So you have this wisdom, but you also have to be the example. And what I mean is, treat others the way you want to be treated, only do it first. Even though she might cut off contact, you can still reach out and be like, hey, I'd love to take the grandkids this weekend, or, and just throw it out there, because at some point, even if she ignores you, you're at least saying, you know what, I'm reaching out, I'm doing something for these relationships. I'm putting my energetic, vibe forward, because something has to change for her in her own life before she's going to stop blaming her parents. And it's just called waking up and being responsible for your own life instead of feeling like the victim. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's a choice that people have. It's not usually forced upon us. The things that force us to deal with adversity, and especially blaming other people, is we get so uncomfortable and nothing changes. And we then are like, well, I can change it. And until she gets to that point, there's really not a whole lot you can do, but you can be the example that you want to be. So if you want to reach out, reach out. If she says not to reach out, and it feels like, whoa, she told me not to, and I want to respect that boundary, then you respect the boundary. So there's choice points that you have, but treat others the way you want to be treated, because eventually when her heart cracks open, or when she does decide to assume that responsibility, which may or may not ever happen, because we don't really know what she's going to do. But when that happens, then you can say, at least I followed my heart. I was true to myself. I did the best I could. And in the meantime, we also visualize sending them love, the grandkids. You can visualize playing with them. You can visualize you and your daughter maybe having a stable, non-confrontational moment, right? Something that is may have never happened, or it's happened maybe before, and you can remember it and recall it and live that. But please just be true to you, because you are the one that has to stand with your own heart at the end of this. And your heart is cracking open. Her heart might or might not crack open, but at least you're keeping that line open when you choose to, or respecting the boundaries when they're put in place. And however you would want to be treated, just honor that and just treat her the same way.
Not only that, if I may share, I always share the fact that you don't have to say anything to your daughter, but take a few minutes and just sit down and send her, just like Mag was saying, love happiness, empowerment, any of those qualities. And I kind of equate that energy sending as I share the fact to go, tell me there's never, ever been a time in your life where you're just sitting there and all of a sudden this nice energy just comes over you like, that was weird. I didn't even do anything. What if that was an energetic sending from
I
somebody?
do that. I do. And
That's
then,
Perfect.
and I was communicating through her husband because he's very empathic, and he, he will text me once in a while. And I asked him, hey, can I see the grandkids? And at first he said, yeah, well, he made it sound like it was going to be yes. And then I guess he talked with her, and he came back with through text that, well, until we heal our relationship, then no, I can't see them.
Yeah. And so, you have to decide how often can you reach out saying, hey, do you want to have a conversation? Do you want to have a cup of coffee? Do you want to connect on Zoom? I mean, you have to decide, when is that appropriate? When is that okay? And, that has to be something that is true, very true to your own code of ethics,
Okay. Yeah, because I'm upset and I'm hurt, and sometimes I get pissed off, but I try and understand that she's she's on her own path. She's, I just send her love, and yeah, I do try and picture us together and having a good time.
Good. You're doing right. And again, it's not manipulation, it's co-creation. All we can do is set that intent, that nice pattern of love, compassion, and empowerment with the other person. And exactly, it is their choice whether they want to pick up on that vibe or not. They won't go into a trance and I have to listen. No, man, it would be that kind of a connection that when they can feel that energy vibe, in this case, like a positive energy, go, I didn't even do anything. What if that is a connection to your soul print? And that even though she may not understand what's going on, she's going to feel in her own way, even though consciously she might not be aware of it, her soul is speaking to go, that's an energetic sending from Mom. And it becomes a little bit more healing and empowering.
And I'm also getting this energy of gifting. And I don't know if that's part of your daughter's love language, is gifting things or receiving gifts. What's that?
Well, they moved. See, they moved, and I don't know where they live, and obviously they don't want. I mean, we're still in the same town, but so I remembered that I knew where her office was. So about a month ago, I took some roses over and a nice little card, with the whole Ho'oponopono prayer on it, and I didn't have any expectations. I just dropped them off. She wasn't there. I dropped them off with the receptionist, and so that's my love language. Is that thing.
And that's okay to do, and if you can still drop things off to her place of appointment, you can drop off little toys for the grandkids, whether they ever see them or not. I mean, there's ways that you can try to connect. It just has to feel right to you. And sometimes, you just have to be patient. You have to let the change happen before the healing can occur. And this is all kind of, you got to trust your own wisdom, trust like your own, like what is the right thing and what feels like the right thing, and just be true to you. And in the meantime, if it's really, really hard, find people that you can talk to that can really support you on this journey too, because there's a lot of healing when we don't have the relationships in our life and the connections in our life. So make sure that you're doing your own healing work as well. Just because that can help the whole healing process, because it ripples of consciousness that happens when we are healing, when we're focused on becoming better versions of ourselves and really healing things from the past or from the present. It has a ripple effect, and we don't always see the results, but consciously it's rippling, and especially through families, because there is an interconnective web that we create when we grow up with people, when we raise people, when they are family, whether it ever hits home or whether it's ever the way you want it to be, you can still do an energetic part on your own end as well.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I wish you all the luck in the world, because these are the hardest types of things, or healing a relationship when we can't even have contact and there can't even be a conversation. But, people have to be,
Exactly.
Yeah, people have to be ready for it though. And there has to be something that shifts and changes for it to be ready. And then once in a while, reach out to her husband just saying, "Hey, I just wanted to say I love both of you. I'd love to see the kids, or I'd love to work on healing this whenever. However, if my daughter has any ideas, I'm open." You can even say, "Hey, I'm in therapy if you're in therapy, or I'm doing some work on myself, to really see more clearly, maybe something I haven't seen about myself yet." If that's something you're doing and if that's something you want to share, of course, but however it goes forward, just don't hesitate to keep reaching out when it feels like this could be a productive time, like on a birthday or a holiday, or take those opportunities just to reach out and don't stop. I mean, and I've been estranged from a family member before for years. And I would continually reach out on a birthday, even though I knew I wasn't going to hear anything back. I still either made a phone call or sent a card or a text or whatever I could do. Because in the end, when I ended up having a better relationship with that family member and we were able to mend and heal, that right there kept it somewhat going on an energetic plane. So it wasn't just dead in the water. So it can help. And it took me 8 years. So, it can help. It can
Okay.
happen.
Wow.
And don't forget,
Wow.
when while we're talking about this, you get holidays right around the corner. Now,
What was that?
and you have holidays coming.
Oh, I know. And birthdays.
Holidays, holidays for some reason. Don't forget the whole world goes into holiday mode, Minds become softer. Voices become softer.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas became softer because of the holidays and things. This may be one of the best time to take that shoe horn and put it behind the shoe and squeeze that foot in there real good and hard. Because this may be the time. This may be. I'm using it as a logic picture. But the idea of the thing is, Ned, you're trying to get your thoughts and your energy and your love in a spot that right now is kind of tight. So what you're going to do is you're going to let the seasons open the door to you actually being able to get in there and get some work done. Like, "Hi, how you doing? I'd like to, say, maybe send somebody, I don't know, something for Halloween, anything. Could be a pin on a pumpkin thing, something small, not big.
Right.
Don't go crazy because then they think you're trying to buy love. We don't buy love. Love is something that's lent to each other.
Sure.
So if we remember that and not buy love, then all of a sudden everything just comes together. It's like throwing crazy glue at a fan, All of a sudden the fan stops. Poof. It's like, "Ooh, you love me. Ooh, I just thought of that." Yeah. I'm telling you, they're good things.
Yeah. There are times that we have to step out of situations and then realize we still have issues without those situations in our lives, to be like, "Oh, I guess it wasn't mom after all." Because now I'm getting triggered by this person and that person. It's a process. It's a process of healing, and sometimes those situations can can be rectified, and sometimes they can work out. You
Don't
just
give
have,
up.
yeah, don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah, I think patience also is the key.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's not always easy, but just like you're sharing for the birthday, hey, just wanted to reach out, happy birthday. Keep it real light. You can touch their soul and goal. That kind of a connection is you're not expecting anything. It doesn't have to be answered to. It's just like, hey, I'm just sharing the love. I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. Whatever you would like to do. That way you're just reaching out, no expectations, no reactions that I have to respond. It's, hey, okay, you know what? Your grandma said this. And they might actually get to see some of what you send.
Mm-hmm. Yes, especially if I send it to their dad.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
ma'am. You got it. Go around the roadblocks. Yep, I'm not going to go that way because that may not work. So let's do it another approach. Perfect. And then you more than likely you're going to be right because the husband or the father figure in this case is connecting with you. just as you're seeing, let me go talk to the wife and let's see what's, well, not right now. And so he's kind of in a middle of in between circumstances. He does appreciate your energy, or he wouldn't even be picking it up in any way. So the good thing is at least you do have one person on your side, even though they may not be able to shift everything. They know that you're genuine with your sincerity.
Right. Yes, I do appreciate that. Yes, for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
And
And again, with the holidays and things, it's like throwing a bar of bucket of butter in a bucket in an oven. You know, it's good. I mean, seriously, this is the hottest time around that to melt hearts. So go.
That's beautiful. Nice.
Let's hope.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. A minute or more a day.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You got
You're
it. Keep us
welcome.
posted, please. Let us know how things go for you.
Hey, come on back in 2 weeks and then tell us you were successful.
Yes, you will. You get the credit. We're just the information.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
You
All
got
right.
it. Take care.
See you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Hey, well, you know what? I tell you something. That's happening to a lot of families, not just hers. I've heard that story
Yep.
before, many,
Yeah.
many times. I mean, I have a grandchild, and he's all the way up in New York, and we had the problem there for us to go there because anywhere between Florida and New York, there were mandates, there was COVID, cards, there was all kinds of things, and she's in New York State. So in New York State, whoa, now you go to the toll booth, they got your license number. If it's Florida, whoa, baby, all the bells and the whistles and everything else that goes off. You know, you get pulled over. Okay, where's your card? Turn that car around. Go back to Florida. You know, it's crazy. So we grew up there for a long time, and I missed the kid. You know, I mean, you guys can see this picture. Those hands right there, those hands. That was the last size I held him.
Oh, wow.
In the hands. And that now he's like, he's getting bigger and everything else. I mean, here's a kid that builds the Empire State Building out of Legos.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
Go look that one up and see what that looks like, you know?
Look at the creative energy, though.
Oh.
And sometimes we've got to get creative with the way that we approach things because the old approach isn't working. So let's change it and see if we can get a different end result.
You know, I tell you something. That's, everybody has to remember that it's a two-way street. You know, you got to go in. You know, one person has to go in, the other person has to reply. Then the other person has to logically figure out the way they got the reply, then use that reply against them. You know,
That's a lot of work.
I'm saying, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's I don't know, man. Maybe I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, but I mean, I could figure that one out quick.
Yes,
But
sir.
It was crazy. I mean, that was my life anyway. And there's so many people out there too. You know what? I actually, and this is to everybody that's on the phone too, and that are like, they got their t. It's going in the background. But all these people that are thinking about this, all the people that I've talked to in the last few weeks and things, it's really, really funny. You bounce up to people that some of them have people in their family they like. Some people have people in their family they don't like. Some of the people talk about them even. And I tell them all, what do I say on the phone, on the show more than anything? Love. Nobody realizes that stuff is nitro.
Yeah.
Yes. Send love, feel love, vibe with love, be love, allow love.
Yeah.
It's all beautiful.
Somebody said, a guy, emailed me from Australia. And he said, I heard he was listening to one of the shows we did. And he said, you were right when you said about the love. Because he said, it was really, really funny when they started talking about it. The word, not just doing it, but they talked about the word, and talking the word lent into the action behind it. And he said, you know what? He says, his work was one of these places where everybody hated everybody. That's a bad work place to be in, but, kind of stinky and everything else. But he started out, he had wrote me an email, and I said to him, well, he says, if you have a chance or something like that, or they're having some kind of little thing, buy the guys coffee. And you said it before, Maggie, you said the coffee. So he said, what's that? He said, they'll pour it over my head. I said, no, they won't. Let I do it. No problem. Now they're all talking. In fact, they're all going fishing, I think, or something, ice fishing. Because down there, it's winter.
Little change of energy goes a long way.
Yeah.
And what do
Kick
you
you
always
in the
say?
ice hole.
That's not what you always say. You say
You
you say the way you approach the universe is the way the universe
It's a
approaches
reflection of
you.
consciousness.
Well,
Yes.
You guys say all the time, Ed, if you want something, expect that you already have it. And
Yep.
say thank you.
Yes. Exactly.
Use thanks as the connection
The
to whatever
gratitude.
you wished for.
Yes. And I share that because a lot of people graciously will pray for things. But I always say, if you pray for anything, please give gratitude that you've received it.
Right.
Because the universe is always for us and never against us. So if we see it as someday, it's like, oh, you see it as someday. You must want it someday. I'll keep it someday. You're like, when's it going to happen? Act as though I am, and I will be. There is no karma, natural laws that exist, cause and effect, causes the thoughts you think, the effect is the reality you're living. That kind of a dynamic is when someone can get a different perspective, because it's not always easy to go, yeah, I can see things clearly, and they're not able to, it can become frustrating, and a lot of people will just walk away. In this case, the best that we can, even the little actions, that doesn't have to be the major things, the little things can speak volumes, and it can create the steps of health, love, and healing. And all you have to do is be willing to take that first step, send it out, just be open.
Yep.
Jump off the mountain.
Yeah. How about if I fly? Why do you have to fall?
Yeah, we can all do that.
Yeah,
No
we
big deal.
can.
Well, it's been an awesome show.
It's always great with
And
the
you know
Bob.
what? I say people actually have written over some of the shows that they came back and had, because they said it was teaching, you were learning, but it was conversational. And that's a big difference. It's not like a lot of shows that people go to and that people are telling people what to do. We never told anybody anything to do.
We share.
We share.
No
We
push.
give them a choice. You could do this, or you could do this, or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate being told what to do, so I refrain as much as possible.
Yeah, that's why people. I told everybody, and I put it on a few things in there too. I said, get your little wire out and your cell phone, since everybody's on cell phones. I said, you take the copy off. I put the copy on Facebook all the time of the show. Take a copy of that, put it in your phone, plug it into your little hole there in the car, and you can listen to the whole show while you're dressing to work.
Yep.
Excellent.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, God, did they make it stuff easy or what?
If we could keep it easy. I always say the very technology that is bringing the world together is separating us as well. These kids nowadays, right, they're standing in front of each other texting. I'm like, for my boys, I'm like, if they're standing in front of you, you talk with them, not just to them. And I don't want to see that cell phone out unless they're at a distance.
There was a kid not too far from here, because we had a school right down from this complex, and that there's a school down the block. The kid was walking, and another kid on a bicycle hit him because he was watching his phone and didn't realize he walked right in the path of the bike.
Wow.
Guy made a turn, walked right in the thing, and I mean, really, they had an ambulance to get the kid off the ground. I mean, he got cut off pretty good.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. For a while, there was that game on the satellite stuff.
Pokemon.
People were getting run over by vehicles.
Right.
Like, oh, I was paying attention. It was a freaking weird energy. We have a number of stores here, and I had gone up to one of the store areas, and it was during the
COVID.
Pokemon thing. Yeah, the COVID thing, the Pokemon thing also. And it was so weird because there was a lot of people walking around. Nobody was talking. Everyone was looking at their phone. And I'm like, wow, that is so weird. People have gotten so desensitized to connections with humans that they've lost a lot of the people skills. They don't even know how to necessarily connect with people. They've gotten so displaced in their own reality, which is fine, but they've lost the ability to interact with other people. They've
Yep.
gotten used to their own. I'm like, man, talk,
I
communicate.
give you another one too. How about the people that are driving around in their cars with their masks on, the windows closed, and the air conditioner on?
Yeah. You know.
I'm serious. There was one. Diane does all the my media stuff and things. She said to me, she said, "Did you see the guy in the store?" Because we went to the store. She wanted to buy some stuff, and she don't drive. So okay, so I'll be driving Daisy. It's like I'm serious. So okay, so I take her to the store, and then she's gonna get all this stuff. And she said to me, "Did you see that?" I said, "See what?" She goes, "There's people over there." People? Where are the people? She goes, "Around the corner over there." So all right, I'll go around the corner. So I go around the corner. Five people. That must have all been the same family. Kids, adults, all of them, masks. And the worst part about it was the masks that really don't work. The thin, fabric ones
Mm-hmm.
and things. I mean, really, I took one look and I just started. I was laughing so hard, man. I had to just walk away before somebody said, "He's crazy, man. He's nuts." I mean, not that they're wrong, but I'm not. I mean, it was just maybe the wrong place or something. It was crazy.
You're a good man.
But humanity will catch up one of these days. It really, really will. I believe in it so much that I can't say anything wrong about it. It's just it's adjusting for some reason, and there are forces too that are helping it adjust.
Yeah.
Of that, we also have that new thing in that with the sun. It keeps putting out those discharge
Solar flares. Yeah.
all over the place. I mean, we're getting bad. I mean, you think 5G is bad? I mean, that stuff is even worse. So, I mean, we're gonna change. We're gonna do things funny. I only ask people to remember one thing. Remember where you came from. Remember your childhood. Remember things that you did, your dreams, your things that you did. Did you play ball or something like that? Remember those things. Because I said those things will kind of sort of part you away from where you are right now. Because you'll notice you have no life. Before, we had a life. Like I tell all the guys all the time. I said, a bunch of kids are sitting on the front stoop of their house, and they're all doing the thing with the pokey or whatever, or TikTok. They're playing with that one. Okay. What happened when we were kids that we used to go out and steal somebody's broom, cut it with a saw, and use it as a stick ball?
Yes. Remember, kick the can, get your booty inside it. The lights are on, man.
Yep. And we used to do, and I think I said it on one of our other shows now. We used to do it was what would you call it? Hide and seek kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was on a major. I mean, you had like 20 people that were doing it. So we were all kids. We were all, in like the 12, 13, kind of thing. And we would do it at night. All the people, all the houses, on all the whole, I mean, you had like 15 houses in a row over there. They all knew that we were out there. It was nighttime, but the lights were on. But we were going to do that. And if they heard something funny, it could have been a kid in the bush, who knows? And I'm serious. We used to do that for a couple hours, and all of a sudden you hear, "Mommy!" And it was my mother. She could be half a mile away and it would still sound like that. I mean, but that's back when we respected our families and our other friends and everything else. Even if we hated a friend, okay, you punch him in the nose and that's it. Tomorrow you go breakfast.
See you tomorrow. Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy. Today it's a whole nother different thing, and people have to remember what before was, so they can update their attitude.
Things have changed so much over the years. Remember back in the day, somebody would knock on the doors like, "Hey, somebody's here. All right, let's go see." And now it's like, "Hide! What the?" People, it's the same experience, but this fear has crept in so powerfully and so effectively that people are terrified to open the doors now. And it's understandable. Always be safe, always be practical. But it's just a whole different vibe from yesteryear to now. Like, wow.
I know one about what you were talking about, the people that are knocking on the door. I'm going to give you one, and I've lived it before. I mean, in the last year, I've heard it at least 3 or 4 times. You do knock on the door, and a long time ago, somebody would come to the door and they would say, "Hi, what can I do for you?" That's the way we treated people at the door. Today, what do you want? I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
that is the way things. I mean, really, seriously, and it doesn't have any lines over who you are, whether you're slanted eyes, fat, small, tanned, whatever. It don't matter. I mean, it's going all over the place, and we have to. I mean, it's your job too, and my job, to try to remind people that, like, hey, we are humans. We were put here to do things for people. Believe it or not. If you don't get it, sit down. I want to tell you. I mean, I'm serious.
Right. And as good as we are for others, stay good for yourself too.
And I
got to say, don't be a hypocrite.
And I got away with it, and I didn't die.
Yeah, huh?
Hey,
it's a whole different vibe, man. That's
man.
the thing. It's funny, but right now, these are gonna be the good old days. We always look back and it's like, really? Because this will be a simple time compared to the technology of what we've got going in about 10, 15 years.
Remember when you were in school and you used to go through things like history and all that kind of stuff, and that, like, oh wow, like this is where this guy came from. These were founders. These are the guys that wrote the Constitution. This is what it is. You'd memorize them. They'd give you a quick test or a snap test. Like, hey, I'm going to give you a test, and you didn't know the fit test was coming, but you're going to get it.
Yep.
Yeah. And, you used to put down all the things there, but you knew all the answers and everything. Do you know that I actually asked somebody, because we were talking about pictures, and I have a picture of me holding one of the parchment. It was the whole thing, the whole Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Oh, wow.
It was given to me while I was in the hospital after I was in a fire and I got burnt. And the bank that was sponsoring the burn center gave me that thing because I knew so much about the Constitution. And there is a picture of it. I just got to find it. My mother has it, and my sister's been looking for it. And she goes,
yeah. If you find it, let me know, man. Show us.
I'm serious. I mean, kids don't know what they're missing. There's so many great things about what we do and what our country has done. And that don't look at it as a war. Look at it as a bunch of people who are pissed off at somebody else and they want to settle it quick. Boom, done.
Take some booty to get some freedom.
We lived without shooting anybody. And let me see, 3 years ago, in the last 7 years, 7 years, nobody shot anybody. Nobody started a war. Nobody would start anything. Gas was $1.20. Food was very low.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgages were 3.1. Now they're almost 15%.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, these are all, it just happened in 3 years. But the 4 years before it, we were in bliss. And everybody loved each other for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the pressure wasn't on, But whatever, we have to remember back. Always remember back. Because if you can remember the history or behind you, then you know where you're going. You have to realize this is what I was, this is what I am, and this is what I want to continue being.
Nice.
Don't let the world change you at all. Some things that will get a little weird, but hey, some things will get a little bit weird, but hey,
like that
goes. Yeah. That was Mr. That was Mr. Anonymous. So hey, how it, yeah.
But it's if we could go back to the good old days, let's have that where you could be friendly, you can say hi and people acknowledge. Things have gotten so different that there's times where I would say hi and the person they wouldn't even look at you. I'm like, hello, you've got it over your mouth and stuff, but your eyes, you can't even look at the person and acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting that fear will tend to shut us down. The love opens us up. More of a connection, more of a communication.
There were a bunch of people sent me a thing on Facebook. I don't know. It's on the general Facebook too. It's the Red Barn something, and that it was a big bar That's what it was. It was an old barn, and what we call them, stalls and everything else. Then with the dog thing, the horses and everything else.
Yeah, stables. Yep.
Yeah, they redid this whole thing. We're going talking like the late 40s, early 50s. They did all these things, and I actually played 3 or 4 times in that place as a musical artist. In that place, they sent me pictures. The place is now condos. It's gone.
Yep.
And you want to talk about the past. I mean, come on. I mean, it was such a great. I mean, when I could have a beer when I was 21 and stuff, and we used to go back there and just for the hell of it because it was just a weird place. It was like a lot of nice, really, and a lot of nice people, all working people. Most of them for that particular area, and that were either farmers, apple farmers, and all those kind of things, corn, and everything, cows, beef, cattle. That was that part of New Jersey. That part of New Jersey is now built up.
It's amazing to see how much growth is happening for all of these places. Literally, yeah. I've been out here in Phoenix, Arizona for the past 56 years. So seeing a lot of the growth going, man, I didn't even know there was any other places basically.
Yeah.
But in being able to see that, and just even in Arizona alone, so many of the places 20, 30 years ago, I remember the big tumbleweeds blowing down the street. Now there's buildings and there's homes everywhere. A lot of these locations are being taken down to put homes in there, and a lot of apartments, condos, things like that. So it's interesting to see how many people are moving.
Do you have 5 minutes?
What's up?
Who's on area code 818?
Hi, it's Messiah.
Hey, Nasaya, how are you?
I'm well. I wanted to make it short, but I'm in college.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
It all went
That's
through the way you
awesome.
wanted it to, huh?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Excellent.
That's fantastic. Oh
Good
my
job.
gosh. Yes, I love it. Thanks for that update.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make it quick, but thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Congratulations. Give our love to your little bambinos and enjoy college.
Good work.
Thank you. I will. All right.
Awesome.
Beautiful. See, look at that. Takes the effort, but she's starting to go in her dreams. She's living that. And sometimes that school of life can teach us a lot. She's able to start going through to this to get her own next direction, her own life experience, which is beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah, good for her. That's excellent. And sometimes that becomes the catalyst of consciousness. All right, you know what? If you can do it, then maybe I could do it. Yep.
Yeah, she was our caller from a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. And she's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Yay.
Whales.
It's always good, brother.
We're out of here like usual.
Lots of love, man.
Lots of love.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Hey, remember, everybody, this is what you do. You watch Facebook, or you just go to www.pyramid1network.com, or you go to jamieclark.com. Go to those places, find out what's going on, where we are, what are they doing, I mean, all these good things that are good for you. Humanity needs us. We need them. Imagine, two-way streets.
We're doing this together. It's all one.
Unbelievable. And on top of that, I'd like to say thank you very much to Jamie and Maggie. God bless you all.
Lots of love.
I'm Charles.